Portfolio review for Jansarts. I'm assuming it's all working. I won't know to the end. So what I'll do is I will start with your website and then I'll work backwards. I know that quite a lot of your work does link through to your Instagram anyway, so that's fine. So this would be the website as we arrive on it. My first impression is the wording is, I'd changed the typography. It's a really boring typeface and it's badly set. Possibly look at using capital letters. I would also probably use some of your lovely lettering, but I would change the message to explain exactly what you do. So as far as what you offer, which from what I can see would be sort of really stylish hand lettering logo and sort of branding design, that would be my avenue. So I would sort of explain that's what you do, such as I'm a professional hand letterer and then I would also work into that who you work with and how your work will benefit them. So instead of listing product design, graphic design and typography, which is it's what you do, I need to know what you do for other people. So that would be something along the lines of, you work with, say, streetwear brands, or you work with fashion brands or interior design or whatever that might be. Try and pick an industry that your work is applicable to and explain how your work adds value to their business. Because if you're going to get clients and you're going to charge good money, you need to make it a business proposition and not just attract people that want to learn lettering and essentially want to copy your style and eventually probably steal your clients or at least compete for them. So when you arrive, I would change the image to something a lot more appealing, possibly your work in situ in a business. So if you did like a wall mural or something that was featured in a shop front or on a really cool t-shirt, I would have that. I would also explain what you do and who you do it for and how they benefit from working with you. Scrolling down, as to be expected with a lot of people, you just have a link straight to your portfolio of work, which again is fine, but what you need to think of your homepage as is a lot more like a landing page for getting work. So the things I'm going to need to see there are going to be testimonials from clients, any magazines you've been featured in, any awards, any logos, as a shorthand to try and determine your level of talent and quality. So if I can see, say, 5 or 6 publications that I recognise the logos for that you've been featured by, in my head immediately I'm going to position you as much higher than other people because you've got that credibility. Alongside this, I'm going to want to sort of start to include customer testimonials who've dealt with you. I'm going to want to sort of talk about so like the benefits of working with you. So you might talk about so at the moment this is just your work. So I would say this is fine, but I think there's massive room for improvement and we'll get into why. But obviously you've got here, want to work together. I've got no reason to work with you. I've got no endorsement from clients. I've got no credibility as to how good you are, nothing like that. So no, I don't want to work with you at the moment. I might love your style, but I need to see it applied in a way that I can go, that would look great in my business. So on the homepage, you need to talk about the benefits of working with you. So what your clients get from working with you. So to dig a little bit deeper, you might go at sort of the problems you solve. So what are the financial, physical, emotional and spiritual benefits that people receive from working with you? You need to talk about your process of how you work. So possibly a 3-step process is quite common, where it's sort of part 1 is we schedule a meeting, part 2 we talk about what you need, part 3 we do what you need. So a 3-step process, something like that, to build in something that's going to make me compelled to contact you. So first of all, I can read testimonials, then I can read the benefits I'm going to get with your service, then I'm going to read how you work and make that really easy. And I need lots and lots of call to action to contact you. At the moment, free wallpaper is the only thing. What I really want is hidden here, which is contact, which is barely visible. That's not what I want. This should be the contact page if you want to get client inquiries. And for the other stuff here, services I don't think matters too much. I would just I'd put that in the about section. Portfolio we're currently on. Journal I would change to blog because people know that more. And more I would just get rid of and put contact, and I would skip it there. The free wallpaper is fine. It's not going to be good enough to really generate clients coming to contact you. I would definitely say sort of, for example, if I was working with gyms or the fitness industry, I would design quotes that they could hang up in their gym that their audience would appeal to. So it's kind of, they can take your work and it will enhance their space and this can just be like a downloadable PDF. They could go and print that and post it in the gym. Now the advantage is there that people will ask, where did you get it? It will remind them every day of you, and it's relevant to their business. They can see how that adds value because it cheers up the customers who work for their business. So that might be an example. Another one might be if you're targeting, say, like fashion brands or coffee shops, you might give away, again, similar type posters or quotes or things they could include in their social media. So maybe you pick some quotes and you do, here are 5 quotes for Instagram. They've got your watermark on them, but it's like a coffee themed quote, and they can download those and upload them to their profile whenever they want. You can get your images from unsplash.com, put your writing over the top of it. They'll look amazing and people will share them and use them. So again, there's a benefit there for you giving it away for free, and they can get to see how actually, I really love these. I would like more of them. So my main reason for doing it is that I can then hire you to do a similar thing for my business, and that's what's crucial. So, okay, so let's move on here. So I'll go through the menu at the top. About me. Let me introduce myself. Okay, so it's talking about who you are, what you do. The photo is fine. It's a bit sort of aloof and cool. If you really want to get people, I would do something a bit more humble, much more friendly, looking straight at the camera. Maybe you working, maybe you chatting with happy clients. I need to see more of your personality. At the moment, I would find you unapproachable because you look too cool to approach, which is, that's my personal opinion. I have terrible photos on my website, so I'm not one to talk, but I'm looking to get them changed. And one thing I will be going for is to show a side of my personality which is friendly and outgoing and approachable. So they're the qualities I want to see. In your bio around here, you need to talk about what you're passionate about, why you're passionate about lettering and what it does, and why you like working with the clients you like working with. So it might be along the lines of, I've always been into drawing and I really love lettering. I was inspired by, films and popular culture, and I did graffiti when I was younger, blah, blah, blah. I love working with brands because it's not only is it great to see my work, out in the real world, but the response to my work from people, not only from clients, but customers of clients is fantastic. Stuff like that. So get me excited about why I want to work with you, why you love doing what you're doing. This is always, you're selling yourself to a client. The danger is always going to be you're going to attract people that want to copy you or follow you, but they're not going to hire you, and that is always a massive concern. Things like here are sort of fine. I mean, I don't, they're all relevant to a point. Let's just click LinkedIn, see what it takes us to. LinkedIn, again, is business. I mean, I wasn't a fan of LinkedIn, but I think that if you're going to be more professional and you're going to get more people who are going to be sort of working with you, then you need to use this as a profile to possibly connect on a professional level. But anyway, okay, so shush. Sorry, it's my dog's ridiculous. My daughter just interrupted me and asked her not to. Okay, so we're going to go to services here. So you've got your 3 services here, and you've got creative direction, lettering and consulting. I don't think it really matters, particularly it's quite a lot of overwhelming stuff here. I think you probably need to stick to maybe creative direction or art direction, and I would sort of put everything else in it, unless you are getting a lot of inquiries for sort of experienced design. It's okay to have it, I'm not quite sure. I think it's easier for customers to sort of get an idea of what you do, and I would probably only give your top 4 reasons for contacting you. So the most popular inquiries you get for contacting, so it might be custom lettering, sort of installation lettering. So maybe that might just come lettering, brackets, custom pieces, like murals, stuff like that. You might do like branding, logo design and stuff like that. So you keep it like, so you do branding, logo design and lettering. So that would make sense. I can see how businesses would use that. I think special requests, collaborations, it's fine. It's kind of obvious. It's what I'd expect, but it's such a boring page. And I think you could probably roll that more into your about page and give people less choices and less problems when it comes to contact you. It's got to be fairly direct. Okay, the journal. It's okay, but there's only 2 posts, and that's a concern. I admit that they're relatively recent. We're in April now. This is January, so that again is disappointing. You're not updating it. The imagery is nice. I can see you've gone to Unsplash to pick those images. They're very, very much aimed at students who want to follow you because you're telling them what pens to buy or how to monetize their hand lettering. If that's the following you want to establish, then that's fine. If you want to get clients, then you need to have topics that are going to be a lot more relevant to businesses. So I would be talking about the value of your work for a business, why it's important to have good branding. Maybe talk about lettering, but it's in relation to your depth of knowledge or your skill. As well as that, maybe showcase examples of clients' work you've done and tell the story behind the lettering. All that sort of stuff is all relevant. I don't think that your topics that you're talking about on your blog are going to help you get clients. So that'd be my thing. Okay, so to the main one, portfolio. So here we go. This is beautiful. The first thing I click in. Now, for me, this is a massive problem because you've taken me out of your website, which is an opportunity to contact you, onto your Instagram page, which means that when I click on the only link out of your Instagram page, which should be back to your website because you should be using Instagram to drive traffic to your website, it takes me to a free wallpaper. That's not what I want. That's no good to me. That's going to be a disappointment. So that's the first mistake. Don't take people away from your portfolio. Let's go back. Okay. So again, we'll click on the second one here. Same thing's happening. You're taking me away from your website, which is bad, into the Behance site. I hate Behance. I don't rate it at all. I think it's full of designers and not necessarily clients, and I don't think it gets the coverage of something like Instagram or your website, so I don't think it's any good. When we're showing the work, I would say that you need, your work is really dynamic and fun and interesting, and I think that sadly that your work is really good and the lettering is really nice, but this sort of design and these sort of pictures are fairly boring. I don't get excited about this project. Plus, I can see that it's 2013. That's 4 years old. I don't think it's worth possibly even having. You want to be putting on work on your portfolio that you want to get hired for. So whatever you're excited about, that's the sort of work I need to see, not just work you've done. There needs to be some sort of quality curation in it. Bear with me, sorry. Go on. Apologies, that's the problem with having 4 bloody dogs. Right, okay, so let's look at this one. Again, you're taking me out of Instagram. The stories that you were promising me here, which are these sort of designs, I'm looking, they're not immediately obvious. So that's, again, it's kind of, well, I'm looking for them, but I can't really find them. Sure, I can see lots of your work, which is great, no problem at all. However, it's not what I came here for. And every time you're taking me away from what you're doing. So again, I can see this one links to Behance again. This one is your Behance portfolio. You've got this one, which is sort of M&M packaging design. It feels very much like a student project. It's really boring. It's not relevant to what you do. I can't see any evidence of your hand lettering here, and I don't believe M&M's commissioned you to make this. So for me, this is a case of it's a self-initiated project. It's from 2015. I wouldn't bother showing it at all. I would kill it. I would kill anything in here that doesn't help you get the work you want to get. So this 3D lettering, this is quite interesting because it's kind of relevant to what you do. It visually is quite seductive. I quite like it, and I can sort of maybe think, okay, I could maybe see how this would apply to bar flyers, promotional videos, all that sort of stuff. So this becomes a bit more relevant. But the problem is, from this page here, I'm not given a way of getting back to you. To get back to your website, I've got to try and, find a way. So this is the problem that you're doing, is you're taking people out of your website experience, which is really boring. So they will, immediately once they leave, they're not going to come back. So that is a big concern. So let's take this one. So we've got Under the Sea. So this is quotes, Go Deep Mix album cover. So I'll click on this, bear with me, and this takes me to, come on, in. Sorry, this is a joke because this takes me to a SoundCloud page, which again has got nothing really to do with your work. So I'm not really interested by this. I need to see case studies. Now by case study, and you can go to my website. Let's see if we can get it up there. So if you go to my website and you'll see a case study, this is the sort of thing I'm talking about here. So we go to work and you pick a case study. So if I pick, say, Jarang, what I'm doing here is showing people how I work, the level of detail and decision making that goes into that, and they can get an insight into what it's like to work with me without having to do that. So this is a rebranding Jarang, a digital agency. Now it starts off with the story of the project. So the problem here, so each client approaches me with a problem and I help them solve a problem. It's usually a business problem. So that was the problem. I outline that here. I talk about my solution, my thinking behind it, and I show the mood board. I show my work to explain my rebrand, everything that goes into it, the typeface choices, the type hierarchy, the logo, everything is explained, the colors, the photography, all is outlined in the entire project so people can see everything. And then it finishes off with a nice big quote at the end, and then the offer to the call to action, do you want to work with me? So that for me is crucial, and it's the same with everything that I do. And the reason being is I can tell the story of the work, but I also get to show the problem I'm solving. And for clients who want to book people who are going to help them grow their business, they want to invest in your services because they know you're going to help their business. When they know you're going to grow their business and help them, then they're prepared to spend money on you, because it's, like I said, it's an investment, not an expense. So this would show how, and like I said, Tom's very happy with everything. And then I've got the call to action again. So it's all there for people to see. And that's how I would recommend you start to show your work. You need to tell me the story that went on behind whatever it is you're doing, and position it around the problem that you were solving for the client and how you successfully solved it, and then the client's response at the end. That ties everything up nice and neatly. And these quotes and testimonials can be repurposed and used on your homepage. So I guess my overall comment would be, you clearly have a lot of talent, but it's a case of the website is configured in a way that makes it hard to want to contact you, because you're driving me away from contacting you every time, whether you're taking me to Behance or Instagram. I've got to then come back, which is boring, and people are lazy. It would be nice for them to contact you straight away. I think if you arranged your work as a homepage link to where it is. So again, I'm going to show you what I've done on mine, just to give you an idea of what I mean. So with my homepage, fairly deliberately, everything I've got here is for the client. So there's a big call to action, let's work together. They've got the about page about me, all the testimonials from my clients, some examples of my work, and some free stuff, which again is relevant to my clients. I explain about why I'm passionate about what I do. There's an easy call to action. I've got a quote from a customer who's very happy. I talk about the problem that people face with branding, what they're going to get from working with me, and then a call to action, another testimonial, and then people can then from there click on and view the work. The plan of how I work, so 3 stages: schedule a meeting, get your analysis, and then start working. And then I've got some of the clients I've worked with there. So the home page is all about selling my work. I'm not showing off my work directly, but I am giving people the option to go, oh, okay, well, I want to see what the case study was. The client seemed really happy. They can click on that, and providing their internet's quick enough, they can hop onto that page and they can see the work. But again, they can see a lot more than the work. They can see the entire process behind the work, which gives meaningful value towards my decision making and the impact it had on the work. So that's how I structure it. So I think for you, that would be, let's go back, how I would do something like that. The final bit I would add probably with your Instagram. There's no problem here. You've got loads of followers. You're cleaning up the account fairly regularly. You're getting good engagement. For me, I think it's probably putting it in a place where if a client looked at it, they could see how relevant it might be. So that's good, because you're doing a shop illustration. I get to see you in action, because what it does, it gives me the confidence to believe that someone else has paid you good money to come in and do work for them. So if they're happy with it, then I'm more inclined to go for it. So I think with all these things, these are obviously very good. They use popular culture. I think they're quite funny. But I need to see process shots of you working. It's fine for you to sort of share your tips. That's quite good, culturally relevant. That's why it's got high engagement. these are all good because they're sort of a balance of inspirational stuff and they make it sort of, it's very visually appealing, but it's got to be with a business focus. I think these type of things are kind of all right. They get less engagement. There's nostalgia there. It's good to sort of go through what's working, what isn't. So they've got all these low, but I know that the most popular one is that 700 almost, you know. So again, you've got to optimize that. But I got to see them in context of the work, of how your work helps other people. So videos are really good for spreading awareness. I've got no, you've done Stranger Things there. But again, what I'm looking for is an insight into how you work and possibly your personality. So the way to think of it is every project has got to be as if it was a real commission piece and you sharing everything about it. So this should be sketches for logos. This should be examples of final finished pieces or motivational quotes if you want to appeal to that market. Videos of you doing your lettering, stuff like that. Make it an extension of your portfolio. So if we look at mine, which again isn't the best by all means, I try and balance, now I'm going to be curating it further because it's not the best, but I try and balance sketches of work I'm doing with finished work. So not everyone will like it, but everything here is pretty much, I know I have these occasional question and answer things because I do enjoy that and that shows my personality. But what I will be doing overall is trying to just show more of the finished work, or at least if not the finished work, insights into it. So like I've got colours, I've got some of my work here. All of this is all sort of insights into how I'm working for potential clients. And that's probably where I'm going to be doing it more and just curating it. I don't really go into the quotes and all that sort of stuff. It's not really one for me, but it's because I can't write as nicely as you. If I could write as nicely as you, I would use the quotes to draw attention to what you do. I would use videos to draw attention to what you do. And then I would showcase your entire creative process on Instagram to give people an insider look into how you work. I would kill Behance and I would turn your best 5 projects into case studies. I would encourage client testimonials and quotes and logos. So if you've been in whatever this is, Photoshop magazine, have that on there. Any sort of PR you've got is great because it just reinforces the credibility of what you do. And I would constantly be tweaking the language and the analytics to work out where people are finding you, where the traffic is coming from, and just refining your process so you can be more about getting booked to be sold rather than inspiring other people to learn lettering. Because as fantastic as that is, and I'm not against that, you could teach those as classes, they won't pay you thousands of pounds for you to redesign their new shop or to commission a clothing range because they can't see the value in what they offer because no one else has done it, or at least if they have, you haven't told people about it enough. So those would be my sort of big criticisms, but there aren't many because your work is excellent. There's clearly talent. I just think it needs to be just refined and funneled in a certain direction. Anyway, I hope that's hopeful. Apology for the dogs. I tried to set it up so they wouldn't bark, but typical they did. Anyway, if you have any problems, I'm in Education or I'm on Instagram, so you can just shout anytime. Cheers. Bye-bye.